So I recently completed Crash Bandicoot The Huge Adventure, and I want to talk about it. Our current goal is to collect, beat, and 100% every Crash Bandicoot game, and Crash Bandicoot The Huge Adventure was our 7th game in the series. This game was released in 2001 and was the first Crash Bandicoot game to debut on the Game Boy Advance. We recently played all the Spyro games as well, and the Game Boy games for those, for the most part, were a major flop, especially the first few. So I was quite nervous to start this game. It's also usually pretty weird to go from a 3D platformer to a 2D platformer, especially when it's the same series. Now the question at hand, is Crash Bandicoot The Huge Adventure a good game? Well, let's dig into that. The game starts off with a cutscene of Uka Uka speaking to Cortex. He's wondering why he even keeps him around, since he has failed one too many times. You know, surely he hasn't failed that many times, right? If I failed as much as Cortex, I would be fired on the spot. But this time, Cortex says he has a real plan. To take down Earth's puniest inhabitants. He proceeds to use a planetary minimizer and shrieks the whole world down to a marble. He can finally say that he won. It immediately cuts over to Aku Aku, Crash, and Coco. And Coco lets us know if we find the crystals, that she can build a device to reverse the effects. Like most Crash Bandicoot games, we have warp rooms, and within those warp rooms, we have 5 different levels. The first level being Jungle Jam. Like any other game, this level's primary purpose was to get you familiar with the game. In order to properly upload videos, I had to emulate this game, so the movement at times didn't feel super crispy, but whenever I played this on my Game Boy, it was really crispy. But the second level was Shipwrecked, and typically I despise the water levels, especially in the prior games. But I flew through this one, so it gives me some hope, and some extra credit points for its final grade. We didn't get to Temple of... This is just a slightly more advanced version of the first level. Our 4th level here is Frostbite Canyon, and all is going well until a giant polar bear decides to start chasing us for no reason. Did we steal something? Did we insult it? Oh wait, it's just a Crash Bandicoot game. You know, if you're not being chased by something, is it really Crash? Our last level here is Justin Slime. This level has you in the sewers, but this is a common landscape in this game. Thankfully, this one was not as bad as the others. We then pivot to our first boss battle of the game, and it's a familiar face in Dingodile. I'm not sure if he just got demoted or what happened to him, but for some reason we are fighting him on the bottom of the ocean floor. You just have to dodge his attacks on the ceiling and the sharks that linger, and you can easily defeat him. Defeating him gives you a super body slam and allows you to do crazy moves like this.
And a big show with a Strowman.
Cortex lets us know his henchmen won't take it easy on me now. Like that has ever stopped me. We start off in the second warp room in Snow Crash, which also, has a giant polar bear chasing me. I really did not notice this originally, but why in the world is he standing up and chasing me? Looking all menacing. He's lucky I didn't turn around and hit him with one of those super body slams. Our next level is Rocket Racket. I thought this was really unique. Something I'll always have to praise long-standing games is their ability to adapt and bring new things on board. The next level here is Just Hangin'. This was probably my least liked level in the game. It took me so long to realize I had to jump down to find the remaining boxes. I was beginning to go crazy. Plus, I started to realize that the easy and fun bonus levels we had in the past are just no longer fun and easy. Our next level here is Shark Attack, another quick and easy underwater level. I'm actually really starting to enjoy these underwater levels in these games. As long as they're still easy. The final level here is Ruined. We get some old enemies returning from the original Crash Bandicoot, but they're these annoying characters. In all seriousness, it was neat to see them being introduced back into a later game. Just hate seeing that it's them. We then get our matchup with N Jin, and maybe we can finally have a fair fight with him. Wait, why are we starting this level in the air? And is that N Jin in a hovercraft? Yeah, seems valid. In this level, you just need to knock out his 4 sources of inflicting damage, and you will defeat him. Defeating him will give you the elusive double jump, which would have been nice for earlier levels, I cannot lie. We are now advancing to the third warp room, our first level of Snow Job, and bro is still chasing us! I need to let him borrow my Apple Watch, he'd easily get me 10,000 steps. Our next level is Ace of Space, but we can only get the crystal here, so I'll come back to this later. We visit Sunken City, and by activating the switch, we are able to enter the area with the green gem and bring it back with us, as long as you evade all the sea creatures trying to eat you. Our fourth level here is Down the Hole. This was a rather long level in my opinion, with many different enemies. It was rather fun though. I tend to enjoy the longer levels though. Our next level here is Blimp Bonanza, which was still a really cool level, and another level in the sky, but it started to feel really repetitive very quickly. Our third boss fight is against our good pal Tiny Tiger. This was one of the more simple and quick boss fights. As long as you don't stand where he is jumping, you can end the fight in almost 30 seconds. Luckily, I struggled a bit in my playthrough with him, so I was able to get a little bit longer of a YouTube video. After defeating him, you are able to start using Tornado Spin. The final warp room starts off with Star to Finish. I really love the space levels in general, man. The music is always peak, the enemies are always fun, and you always have to just lock in. You can also get the red gem here, which helps you get a missing gem from a previous level. We get one more water level, which is Air Supply, which still ended up being a very quick and very easy level. We then have No Fly Zone, which did get a quick bump in difficulty, but was still just so repetitive. Our next level is Drip Drip Drip. I struggled a lot with this level for no reason. Really cool level design though. Lastly, we get the final countdown, our last level. This might have had the craziest jump in Crash Bandicoot so far. In order to get the yellow gem, you had to pull off a string of moves just to jump from crate to crate. Watching it doesn't do it justice in terms of difficulty, but then again, maybe I'll just suck. We get our rematch with Cortex, and he just shoots us with his minimizer. I did struggle with this boss fight. Gotta give the big man credit. I could not figure out the timing on when he would actually shoot it. I would jump too early, and then I would think I was good and get blasted. You do get your fast shoes after defeating him, which helps greatly for the rest of the game. We are able to reverse the effects, but we still need to destroy his minimizer and space station. We have to return and get all the remaining gems and all the time relics. I won't bore you with all the remaining gems we have left, but I do want to speak about the level of Ace of Space. First off, another sick level name, but you have to make another daring jump to get to the yellow gem. It wasn't easy after making it to the yellow gem. It does teleport you to an area where you're in a space motorcycle with the same setup you were in Crash Bandicoot Warped, and you get to collect the crates in space. This was probably my favorite level and sequence in the game. It was pretty bad. We then have to go out and collect all of the relics. I made the initial mistake of not realizing that I had to get gold to reach 100% overall. We did make it though. There were some that were harder than others, but for the most part, we got them with ease, which is not a common trend for me in this series. This sets up our final rematch with Cortex. My one issue I always have is that it's always a copy and paste showdown. It's the same fight you already had, but the second you defeat him, you also blow up the crystal stabilizers, which transforms Cortex and all of his henchmen into one monster that chases you. It was actually kind of terrifying to be chased by whatever you want to call that thing. I was pretty happy to see them add something that wasn't a copy and paste ending though. Now that you have been refreshed on the material of this game, was it a good game? I thought for it being the first Game Boy game, it set the standard high. The gameplay felt so much more crisp than any other games around its time. The soundtrack was really good, the colors and design were really good, and their ability to make a traditional 3D platformer on the Game Boy was really good. Now for some of the negatives. It's the first Crash game without bonus levels. After making a huge stride in Wrath of Cortex, in this game, Crash was back to being the only playable character. For being a Game Boy game though, I really can't think of any other negatives. My overall rating would be at 8.2 out of 10. If this was a test, it would have been graded at 82% and given a B. So overall, I would say yes, it was a good game. It had its limitations being transformed into a 2D platformer, but after being a 3D platformer for so long, it still played so well. It was a really fun game, a little quick, but a really fun game. If you remember the PS1 classic Crash Team Racing, our next game is the remastered version of that, but for the PS2, Crash Nitro Kart. I gave Crash Team Racing a 10 out of 10, so I'm really excited to play this one. So be on the lookout for its gameplay. If you made it this far, please consider showing some love and let me know what you liked or disliked about this game. And if you missed out, I recently posted my review for Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, so be sure to check that out.